Friends, in the Indian context, dance criticism is a relatively recent phenomenon. In the old days, the newspapers simply provided a column for dance reviews. Besides this, no other space was provided in the press for dance. Most of the newspapers followed the British journalistic tradition, and in the pre-independence era, as well as in the early post-independence years, the job of reviewing dance was assigned to a music critic. This was the practice early on in the British newspapers, where a music critic also wrote on ballads. Till some 40 years ago, this was also the practice in India. It is only in recent years that the dance critic in India has come into his own. Reviewing dance makes several demands on the dance critic. He is expected to be well versed in technique of dance, the aesthetic principles governing the dance forms, etc. He must be well versed in the poetry, theme and the content what is being present in the dance. This indeed is a tall order, but one who is well versed in all these aspects is qualified to be a dance critic. The knowledge of both the epics, the Mahabharata and Ramayana, the Puranas, the knowledge of these genres of literature is a must, because there are several versions of mythology in India and interpretations may differ while enacting Sanchari Bhavas. For instance, in the North India, Kartika Swami is a bachelor. In the southern mythology, he has two wives, Valli and Devasena. It goes without saying that a dance critic in India must have sound knowledge of Sanskrit. The study of Natya Shastra is most important. Also Abhinaya Darpana, Sangeeta Ratnakara, Bharatarnava and other Natya Shastra texts, with which a nodding acquaintance is necessary. Natya Shastra is a manual. It is not an easy text, but a diligent study opens up several viewpoints for a dance critic to give his appropriate comments. The difficulty a dance critic faces in India is not easy to surmount. Today, with a recent recognition of Satriya, classical dance form of Assam, there are 8 classical dance forms: Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Odissi, Manipuri, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam and now the Kshatriya. It is not easy for a dance critic to know all the languages in which songs are performed for Abhinaya. But since Angika Abhinaya and Hastas, the hand gestures, are used to describe, interpret the various aspects of literature, a critic with some knowledge of practical dance and the Hastas and its Vinyoga, the usage can gain access to the bhava the dancer evokes and the audience relishes the rasa. An Indian dance critic has to be autodidact. For a dancer can learn practical dance at any or most well-known institutions. There are no schools for critique to study how to write dance criticism. Even in a few universities where dance is taught for BFA and MFA degrees, there are no special courses for dance criticism. A dance critic has to learn on his own and gather knowledge about various aspects of dance. From that, he is expected to review. If a serious attempt is made to introduce dance criticism in curriculum of dance studies, it will help a lot in future for a student to take up dance criticism as a special subject of studies. The existing body of writing on dance criticism is meager. No systematic study of history of dance criticism in India has ever been undertaken. In the early 50s and 60s, the role played by, say, Dr. Charles Fabry, an art historian from Hungary, was responsible for establishing Odissi dance as a classical dance form. Earlier, it was E. Krishnalayer, a freedom fighter and a great devotee of classical Bharatanatyam dance form, who studied Bharatanatyam from traditional gurus and performed in female costumes, generated an awareness for the classical dance form as Bharatanatyam. He also wrote reviews in the newspapers, answered controversies and succeeded through his writings to gain Bharatanatyam a classical dance form. Therefore, the role of a critique is most important. Critics with their intimate knowledge and regular reviewing performance can hone their faculties and sharpen their observation skills and can also guide the dance scene. To wit, John Martin, the legendary dance critic, writing for the New York Times, as a dance critic was responsible for establishing credentials of Martha Graham as a modern dancer. With his erudite and perceptive comments, he guided the viewers to look at Martha Graham's attempt for innovation. Critics thus do play an important role in developing interest among dance audiences for innovations besides cultivating tastes for traditional classical dance forms. In India, the writing of critique like G. Venkatachalam or K. Bharatayar, Kapila Vatsyayan, Mohan Khokar, Sunil Kothari, and the special issues of Mark Quarterly devoted to dance by Dr. Mulkraj Anand created not only an awareness about our cultural heritage of dance, but also critical review of the dance. It is important to note that with increasing awareness about classical dance forms, the print media woke up to possibilities of creating a section of public as readers for dance. In Tamil Nadu, Ananda Vikatan journal drew attention for review of dance. Another journal was Kalki, published by Kalki Krishnamurthy. He engaged a brilliant writer in Tamil language by the name P.V. Subramaniam, who was known by name of Subbudu. He was both a music and a dance critic. He wrote very acerbic and caustic criticism, which was laced with wit, which became extremely popular. Also in English, his reviews were much respected, but he created, unfortunately, a feeling of fear in artists with his acidic reviews. In 1970s and 80s, he ruled supreme as a critic. Every year, during the Madras season in December, when more than 2 months long dance and music festivals were organized, he was invited from New Delhi, where he used to reside normally, to write for Statesman by Indian Express group of publications. He was much feared and had later on in his life faced anger of the artist. Some also filed legal notices against him for defamation. Fortunately, that sort of criticism is now not favored by the readers. By 1990s, the Times of India group of publication had invited another well-known writer, scholar, journalist, Sadananda Menon, to start an art page for their publication in Economic Times. It created quite a buzz in the world of dance criticism. His own criticism was analytical and frank, drawing attention to the dangers of mere reporting and not providing a forum for healthy dialogue. From 1970s, dance critics like Subbudu, Santosh Sabjit Singh, Mohan Khokar, Leela Venkataraman in New Delhi, Sunil Kothari, S.V. Vasudev, Santanam, Sri Wajivdar, Rita Devi and Shanta Gokhale and others were writing reviews in Mumbai for the Times of India group of publications, like the Illustrated Weekly of India, Femina, Dharmayug, which carried features on classical Indian dance, which acted as supplement to dance criticism. Unfortunately, by 1995, the Times of India decided to withdraw columns of dance criticism and also other allied subjects, as the press barons found that the space used for arts was not earning more income. Post-globalization period by early 1990s ushered in new technological advancements. a new India opened up to an onslaught of information from across the world. The space for performing arts slowly began to shrink, and the mounting wave of popularity of cinema and other television programs. In the print media, more glamorous forms of art like fashion were taking over nation's readership by storm. Newspapers began to review generating models of coverage, and space in print media began getting increasingly expensive. It was not selling. It was not, if it was not selling, it was not worth giving space to. Unfortunately, none of the classical performance arts were selling as designed by the dictates of the newly globalized market. Where was the space for objective and critical writing in the arts in all this chaos? Unable to deal with the sudden changes, several ambitious magazines had to close down. By mid-1990s, many newspapers had begun scrapping their art review pages and columns, following the footsteps of the Times of India. The Times of India started the trend of journalism for fashion, food and gossip of the lives of Bollywood actors, sidelined and nearly killing the institution of dance criticism in India. However, serious intelligentsia has already started bringing out monthly, quarterly, half-yearly and annuals of dance with slots of dance criticism. Foremost among them is the monthly Shruti, published from Chennai, started by late Pattabhirama, now taken over by Sanmar Group of Industries. It has a track record as and is internationally read for its excellent coverage of artists, personalities and dance and music reviews. Currently edited by V. Ramanarayan and a senior executive editor S. Janaki, Shruti is a respectable journal for dancers, musicians and writers who write on performing arts. The story of Nartanam Quarterly is equally interesting. Mr. G. M. Sharma, a bureaucrat but a staunch devotee of Kuchipudi art form, established it 15 years ago with theatre writer Professor Modali Nagabhushan Sharma from Hyderabad. It carried detailed dance reviews besides special issues devoted to classical dance forms like Kathak, Bharatnatyam, Kathakali, Odissi, Mohiniyattam, Manipuri, Kuchipudi and Kshatriya dances of Assam, having critical assessment of dance forms as they have developed during past 60 years. At present, it is run by Sarodaya Trust and its managing editor Madhavi Puranam, a scholar, dancer, business management expert and an author with a vision to run the journal. Nartanam's special issue on dance criticism and photography is sold out and has become a collector's item. The excellent history of Indian dance criticism is brought out in this special issue. For any serious student of dance criticism, it is a valuable journal for reference. Another half-yearly journal, Angaraga, edited by Dinanath Pati from Bhubaneswar, carries dance reviews. This is one more journal that offers space for dance reviews and criticism. Its focus, of course, was earlier on Odissi dance, its development, allied arts forms like Sakhinaj, which is languishing for want of support from government and also intelligentsia. The reviews, which were limited to Odissi dance and Odissi dance festival, have now been expanded to other dance forms and also for foreign troops visiting India. The space provided by the journal thus works in favor of dance criticism. Besides its excellent get-up, high quality printing, inclusion of other arts like painting and sculpture, literature, it embraces other forms with holistic approach. Attendance, the only dance annual, published and edited by Ashish Khokar, a dance historian, researcher, author and son of the legendary dance chronicler late Mohan Khokar, has filled in a vacuum in history of dance. He has also established Dance History Association, which also deals with issue of dance criticism. It records regularly reviews of annual dance festivals and also, most importantly, obituaries of artists, dancers. It also draws attention to the poor and needy artists and serves a humanitarian cause too. Within a period of 15 years, it has carved a niche within India and abroad, bringing to the fore the various issues the world of dance faces. Also, Mohan Khokhar's dance collection is another precious legacy, which as a trustee of the collection, he provides service to researchers and scholars. Dance criticism embraces such other aspects. In terms of electronic media and social media, 15 years ago, Anita Ratnam, a dancer, choreographer, scholar, activist and former alumna of Kalakshetra Foundation, Anita has ventured into digital world. Her e-portal www.nartaki.com is the most important electronic media journal, which started as a directory of dancers, has now developed into an indispensable e-journal for dancers within India and Indian diaspora. He has provided platform for many new writers. There is enough space for critical appraisal. The advantage e-portal has over the print media is of putting illustrations, clippings of dance performances, response to authors, letters from readers and healthy dialogue is built with the virtual space, unlike print media where there has been always a space crunch. Another advantage is that it can be easily accessed world over. What is the future of dance criticism in India? With print media still looming large in public domain, it is indeed difficult to change the mindset of readers and expect them to switch over to journals. Indian dancers in particular are not savvy to use computers and access such journals, but abroad it is well received. Dancers await its arrival every month as it brings international news and also critical reviews of dance performances. With the passing of time, it is bound to become more and more popular as the print media does not offer enough space for dance criticism. This is common world over. Be it New York or Sydney, London or Paris, the print media has no space for art reviews, meaning dance, music, sculpture, literature, painting. But e-journals provide enough space. In USA, already several e-portals have come into existence to meet the crisis that has been created by the print media, and dance criticism is thriving. Also, personal blogs have been created. In terms of social media, Facebook has become very popular. Dancers attach the links of their reviews for their friends to read, announce future performances, and with art of communications have succeeded in overcoming the issue of print media not covering dance performance. They themselves put up the review published elsewhere, be it in whatever print media or in electric media if it is carried. The dance criticism in India has reached such a low status on account of various reasons that the press barons decided to do away with the dance views. In few cases, when critics settled scores with the dancers by writing unpleasant reviews in an undignified way, and dancers complained bitterly, the editor and the news barons thought it is best to do away with the review. Unpleasant comments rankle for a lifetime. The British critic Arnold Haskell has observed that as a dance critic, he has learnt a lesson not to settle scores with the dancers through reviews. Publicity and reviews are lifeblood for the performing artist. No one disputes that criticism is important. Informed criticism helps audience to know about arts. People like to compare their views with those of the critics who have specialized knowledge, and their constructive criticism helps a dancer to improve to raise the bar or the art he or she practices. In general, a dance critic's job is a thankless job. Often, except for a little publicity that the dancers get, they do not value the review. a critic may feel that he or she is expressing opinion without bias, but dancers read it differently. No amount of explanation would convince the dancer that the critic does not mean to belittle or hurl the dancer. In India, dance criticism has not achieved that status as one notices abroad. For instance, say it in United States. Critics abroad do not mix with the dancers, do not cultivate friendships, remain inaccessible to them, and editors prefer that. Also, there are more critics in newspapers for reviewing dance. Even when the New York Times has a chief dance critic, there are also other critics. Formerly, it was believed that a critic can make or mar the career of a dancer. Now it is not so. It is the word of the mouth publicity which works. Even when an adverse review appears, public opinion does not change. Of course, a good review can certainly help an up and coming dancer. A critique is also subject to critical appraisal by the reading public and the connoisseurs. There are no scholars or courses for dance criticism. The only school is performance that a critic watches and writes about, whether in a blog or an e-portal. A critic has to keep in touch with the latest dance productions and continue his homework by reading and by being aware of trends, discussions, seminars, and dance festivals. That is the only way of learning and cultivating critical awareness. He was to be knowledgeable of various dance forms, the aesthetic principles governing them, and the existing styles. Reviewing dance makes several demands on the critic. He is expected to be well versed in the aesthetic theories governing the dance forms, the poetry, theme, and content of a particular performance. Dancers do regret the fact that professional criticism in India is dragging its feet. A dancer finds a review very useful if it is genuine, written by someone knowledgeable who can offer constructive criticism. Artists need feedback, and sound criticism based on solid reasoning is always welcome. The problem is that there are hardly any critics who fit that category anymore. In India, an internet has entered, and anyone can express his or her opinion on a dance performance, or a dancer, or any event related to dance has opened up many questions of complex nature. Dance critics who made their names in print media over a long period still are respected. For young and upcoming dance critic, it poses many challenges. If not widely read, his or her writing remains in cyber world and is not shared by large community of readers. However, genuine criticism does not draw attention of readers, even if the number is limited. They in turn would spread the word about a young chap writing seriously on dance. Equally, a frivolous critic would be caught up sooner or later, as people interested in criticism more or less dismiss his or her claims as a dance critic. Even dancers under his or her lens would not care for his or her opinions. So would the organizers. If the power of pen is not handled well, will boomerang against the person who would misuse it. A healthy relationship has to be established between the dancers and the critics.